Well, thanks for staying with us. Time now for Media Watch, which I'm joined by James Creedon. So, James, we start off with the latest twists and turns in the Strauss-Kahn case.
That's right. You had it in the headlines, Georgia, and it's the big story really in the French media today. The magazine L'Express had an interview with Kenneth Thompson. Now, he's the lawyer for Nafissatou Diallo. He provides details from that famous incident at the Sofitel Hotel last May. Now, he says he'll do everything he can for this case to proceed because, of course, there's a lot of rumours that it could be dropped by the New York prosecutor. Now, unlike Dominique Strauss-Kahn, who's been keeping a very low profile in the past number of months, Nafissatou Diallo's lawyer, Kenneth Thompson, has been going on a media frenzy. He's been speaking very extensively to the media. So this interview to L'Express is another example of his high-profile approach contrasted with Dominique Strauss-Kahn's very low-profile approach. In any case, one of the strongest elements in this whole, in Kenneth Thompson's case, really, is the official hospital report from the evening Nafissatou Diallo claims there was this attempted rape. Now, the report establishes that the injuries inflicted on Nafissatou Diallo were as a result of rape. Now, that's word for word what this report apparently concludes. The report it's very detailed, according to L'Express, which got a copy of this hospital report, and it says that it's very precise as well, describing the nature of the injuries inflicted on Nafissatou Diallo and the way that they were inflicted. So basically, this is one of the last cards being played by Kenneth Thompson. He knows that this is a pretty strong element in his case, this hospital report, and he himself has been apparently in receipt of information which makes him believe that the prosecutor's office has been willing and ready to drop this case. So he's doing everything he can basically to ensure that that doesn't happen. And this hospital report saying that the injuries that were inflicted were as a result of rape is one of the strongest cards he's left to play.
Right, well, another big story is we're going to look at the sometimes too cozy links between politics and journalism.
That's right. Now, it's a year ahead of a presidential election here in France, and I suppose oftentimes the slightly cozy relationship between journalists and politicians is criticised, not just in France, but in countries the world over. Now, the thing is, a think tank has been set up by a very senior executive at the Vivendi Group. Now, Vivendi is a big media group here in France. It owns, for example, the Canal Plus television channel. It's a very popular private television channel. So a senior executive working for them by the name of Jean-René Fourtou has set up a think tank. Now, this think tank, basically the aims of it appear to be to underline the achievements of Sarkozy in the last 4 years and to examine how they could be deepened or developed. So it's a very pro-Sarkozy think tank. Now, 2 senior journalists have joined this think tank. One works for this newspaper, Le Figaro, and his name is Etienne Moujotte. The other journalist works for, so that's Le Figaro, he works for that. And then another journalist by the name of Gérard Carriot works for François. So 2 journalists working for these 2 newspapers have joined this think tank. The latter, who works for François, he has allegedly said, he has said that he has written 80% of the editorials for François in a positive tone for Nicolas Sarkozy. That's pretty extraordinary. A journalist admitting to another journalist, to Le Monde's Arnaud Leparmentier, who is a media correspondent and a political correspondent, to admit that you have written 80% of your editorials in a positive slant for the president. It goes beyond having perhaps a political preference to perhaps unprofessional behaviour. So I'm not sure people at François will be too pleased with that piece of information that's come out. So in any case, this think tank has been set up and it shows perhaps that not all journalists are being as impartial as they should be.
And finally, the bees, kissing on the cheek.
Yes.
Pretty big here in France, apparently not so big in Germany.
No, indeed, it's not. And it's interesting, I suppose, that Merkel and Sarkozy met today. But let's first of all have a look at Slate.fr. Now, Slate explains that basically in Germany, the kiss on either cheek is viewed as erotic, overly erotic, and just kind of a little bit unacceptable in certain situations, especially in professional situations. So let's have a look at some pictures of Sarkozy and Merkel in their usual embrace, because basically every time they meet, there is this scene where there's a little bit of kissing that goes on, a kiss on either cheek. Now, Merkel's body language often indicates that she's less than fully comfortable with that, slightly pulling back. On one occasion, Sarkozy even kind of gave her a slap on the back. So all of this kind of chummy, pally, Latin behaviour seems to kind of get on the nerves of the Germans Germans. So in any case, Slate points out that in Germany, this kind of behaviour is just not approved of. Now let's have a look actually at how Hillary Clinton and Vladimir Putin greet Merkel. It's just a very somber shake of the hand. There you can see we've played it on a couple of occasions just so people get the point. And here Putin, also just a very sturdy handshake and a nod of the head. So none of this Latin kissing of lips and smacking. Now, in any case, just very quickly to point out that there's a German consultancy group called Knigge, and they've received, it's a kind of consultancy group on social behaviour. They received over 50 letters from people complaining about the kiss on either cheek in business situations, in professional situations. And they've advised people, just put a note on your desk saying you don't want to be kissed. That's the best solution for Germans. So Germans clearly not too pleased about that kind of behaviour.
Well, I've always thought a firm handshake covers all situations. Well, thank you very much for that roundup, James. Well, please do stay with us. Coming up shortly, the latest stories making it big online. It's Web News.